Hi friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if this is your first time coming across my page, welcome. This is only the second YouTube video I've made. And in this video, I really want to talk about the nitty-gritty of my healing journey, both mental, physical, spiritual, all the things. My 20s have been quite the roller coaster. I'm 27 now. I spent a majority of my early 20s drinking, partying. I was driven in my career. I'm a licensed esthetician and I really wanted to be this successful licensed esthetician. So I went from like partying all the time to just working 24/7 and having no life and being stressed out all the time because I really wanted to achieve these goals. But now that I think about it, I don't even know what I was trying to achieve. I just knew that I wanted to be successful. So a little bit of background. I have always struggled with anxiety. I used to get very bad panic attacks. I used to suck my thumb till I was like 10. I used to always pull my mattress in my parents' room and sleep on their floor because I hated just sleeping alone and being alone. I really don't know like what that stemmed from, but I just always remember being on edge. So with that being said, I don't remember exactly what age I started to get on medication for it, but we're pushing probably like 8 years of me being on medication for this and also depression. Honestly, I just felt like didn't do too much for me, but granted, like I said, I was drinking and doing a lot of drugs in my early 20s, which obviously are gonna alter the brain and cause some anxiety and depression. Regardless of taking SSRIs or whatever I was taking for my mental health. I use air quotes because I personally feel like it's really hard to gauge diagnosis with someone when they are using drugs and drinking heavily because it is literally changing the chemistry of your brain. When I was in college, I started seeing a therapist because my panic attacks were so bad I couldn't even go to class or function. I would hyperventilate like all day long, just like shaking in a ball. Remember there was times where I would just miss class and go to the nurse's office. Wait, why does that sound weird? I went to like the health center on campus and they were like, yeah, we don't really know what to do. I also started using that as a crutch. So when I would miss class, even if it was just because I was hungover or I just didn't want to go, I'd be like, oh, sorry, I was depressed. Like, can I turn in the paper late? And I studied psychology, so they were like, of course, we get it. So one of the big things that I try not to do today is use my anxiety, ADHD, depression, OCD, all these things that I've been told that I have as a crutch or as an excuse of why I can't try to show up and be my best and do things, but also at the same time I try and honor my body because there are times where I literally feel like my head is spinning because of anxiety, or my depression just feels like there's like weights on my ankles where it feels like just walking from the bedroom to the bathroom feels impossible, which sounds crazy, but if you have struggled with things in the past, I know you know what I'm talking about. The physical and mental just mind fuck of mental health, mental illness, I don't know. It's super difficult to walk through also because people can't see it. So they're like, oh, just get up, go for a walk, you need fresh air. And it's like, no, I feel like I'm about to die. I feel like I'm having a heart attack. Or the thought of walking outside and being in the world is so crippling that I freeze in place. So anyway, got a little off track with the story. The point is, if you experience stuff like that, if you struggle with stuff like that, welcome. I too am trying to heal those parts of me and accept them and learn to work with them because for so much of my life, I spent hating those pieces of me and trying to change it. And I still often do, especially with my ADHD. It makes running a business very difficult. But we are doing our best here, okay? I am currently on an SSRI. I am on Lexapro and I just recently started to try and wean off of it. I cut half my dosage and I think I'm gonna stay there for a little bit because I don't know what you would call it, withdrawal symptom or your body just rebalancing in the brain, trying to re-function again after switching the dosage. I don't know how to explain this, but your body and your brain need some time to level out after changing the dosage. So that's kind of what I'm going through right now. My goal is to be completely off of them one day and hopefully be good, or maybe replace them with like peptides or supplementation. I'm not exactly sure. I just know that I kind of wanted to start the journey to wean off of it, but I did start seeing the wean off symptoms like fatigue. My mind is racing a lot more. The anxiety is kind of ups and downs with the kind of panicky type of anxiety. Again, if you know, you know. I always say like panic, anxiety are like different to me. Anxiety is like my heart's beating fast, I'm feeling stressed, but like I can still go to work and I just feel kind of uncomfortable. And panic attack is like the room's spinning, I'm sweating, I'm shaking, I'm hot and cold, I cannot breathe, my eyes feel like they're going cross-eyed and I'm about to just literally explode. Wouldn't wish panic attacks on my worst enemy. So the drinking and the substance abuse was kind of motivated through social anxiety, other prescription medications for the panic attacks, and then I realized that it did make me kind of just feel and so then I started abusing them. Oops. But yeah, drinking gave me liquid courage. Sometimes I would go to class after drinking and I'd feel a lot more confident taking the test or even writing papers. Sometimes I just felt like it was helpful for me. And that's just not a sustainable way to live. But even after college, I kept up those habits, especially during COVID when no one was allowed to like talk to each other or see each other. I was like, perfect. I can just hide in my room and sedate myself, which got lonely and dangerous very quickly. There were ebbs and flows when I would drink and use more than other times. And then finally one day I just hit a wall. Some random doctor got me hyped up on bipolar meds. Even though I don't think I'm bipolar, I don't even know why I told the doctor I was feeling bipolar. I can't remember now. And those made me so sick. Plus with all the other things that I was doing, I started to get arm tremors. So I just had to cold turkey everything, which this is kind of an intro to my sobriety story, so we'll save that for another video. But to sum everything up, healing my mental health has been something that I've been trying to navigate for probably more than 10 years. And I really didn't start to see a change of true healing and just feeling more comfortable in my skin until I got sober. But that also brought a new wave of just getting like hit in the face with reality and all the things that I've been shoving down for my whole life. Like I said, I'm gonna make another video about my journey with sobriety, but to sum up this piece of the story of my healing journey is that getting sober actually introduced me to a spiritual way of life, which has been super important for me, not only to stay sober, but just to have faith that I'm gonna be okay living in this world with all the ups and downs. Because before, the thought of the downs of the world were crippling to me, and living in fear is just not a place that I want to live at, but it's kind of my baseline. So I lean a lot into God, higher power, whatever you want to call it, something bigger than me to give me strength to continue to walk through life. Now, with getting sober, having an addictive personality, I kind of just hopped from one addiction to another. I was eating candy for a while. Mind you, I've never really eaten totally healthy. There was a point in time where I would grocery shop at the Dollar Tree because I literally couldn't afford food. I would just have like their protein drinks, their energy drinks, and then like nuts and seeds and granola bars. Then I started getting really uncomfortable in my body when I first got sober, so I started going to the gym a bunch. And I was like, yeah, I need to eat. Gym bro, I'm gonna go to Trader Joe's and I'm gonna get salads and pre-made food. Honestly, I don't think I ever had the time to stop and realize that I like didn't feel good until there was a point in time where I was working, like including me driving to and from work, which was kind of far to my house, like 12-hour days. This is when I was an esthetician. I was wearing like 3 back braces because my body hurt so bad. I was like overworked. I wasn't managing stress. I was lifting super heavy. The food that I was eating was like not supplementing any real nutrition. Spoiler alert, the packaged foods from Trader Joe's are not your healthiest option. I heard on TikTok, I think one time that Trader Joe's is just glorified junk food. And I'm like, yeah. I kind of jumped a little, but before I got that job that I was working like 12-hour days, going to school in the day to get my esthetician's license, and then I was working at night. So again, working very long hours, shifted to the 12-hour days again, left there, had a little gap in my work experience, and then again I was right into having 2 jobs. So I had just been hustling, really not thinking about fueling my body properly, getting adequate sleep, drinking water, managing stress. The only type of movement that I did, like I never really went on walks. I would just lift super heavy in the morning. And granted, the body looked amazing, but like I wasn't healthy. It's really when I left and started my own business where I feel like you're in a car and you slam on the brakes and all the suitcases and everything from the backseat comes to the front in regards to my healing journey. For about probably like 8 years, I've had acne, and that's part of why I wanted to become a licensed esthetician. It was first inspired by I wanted to be a makeup artist. I was like, I'm gonna go to esthetician school, I'm gonna be a makeup artist. And then I started getting acne and I was like, okay, well, how do you figure this shit out? Which, spoiler alert, you don't really learn in school. You kind of learn hands-on in the field, in experience, or if you have it yourself. So there were times where my skin was clearer and I was like, yeah, I'm gonna focus all on acne and my business because I had acne and now I have clear skin and I'm gonna help other people. Yeah, I don't know if you can see my skin because this camera, I paid top dollar for it to make me look flawless, so. But I am literally still breaking out, and I've been a licensed esthetician for about 5 years. So I started going down this rabbit hole of like, okay, is acne something bigger than just products? And also the places that I was working at the time, I was like the only one with acne. We're all trying to figure out my skin skin, which products were the best. And I just was like, there's gotta be something more to this. I don't know exactly how I started getting down this rabbit hole, but I started to dive really deep into just learning about the human body and internal health. Kind of like I was talking about, like eating healthy, drinking water, getting adequate sleep, managing stress, all these things that I was not doing before. Because those are the things that just are the baseline for human health. And then when I look back on it, I was really not doing that for many years. At the time that I started to build my business, I opened a studio where I was doing facials and I was helping acne guests. I took an integrative health practitioner course that I got certified in, which that actually opened the door for me to learn a lot about toxins in our environment, gut health, hormonal health, things that we're putting into our body, the importance of our health and the longevity of it. And then of course, being the addict that I am, I went a little cuckoo on it, and all I would do was eat, sleep, breathe, reading these books, listening to podcasts, just studying the human body and skin and the gut and hormones and liver and lymphatic system and all these systems in the body, which was cool because then I was able to help my guests as well with this information. And all of this kind of led me to some disordered eating. Everything I ate, I was like, oh my God, this needs to be organic. This has food dyes. This has blah, 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 blah. And I still kind of have that noise in my head. So I'll be working on that in therapy. But I started to get very obsessive. And this is where I've been told that I have OCD. I have these thoughts that feel so real, and it's hard for me to not lean into them. And I just get so sucked into these like patterns of like, I need to eat a specific way, I need to be a specific way. And it all came from not even in a way to like fuel my body and feel good, but it was like, I need clear skin and I need to heal my body, like forcing my body to heal. And so I was very strict and regimented with eating healthy. I learned how to find the best quality foods, and I was meal prepping and taking all this time to be healthy. And I feel like I was the sickest that I have been yet. So fatigued. My acne has been probably at its worst since I started this internal healing journey, because I got gut testing, I've done blood work, I started different supplements with a naturopathic doctor. I actually saw 2 naturopathic doctors. One appointment was $400, and I was like, you know what? I guess I'll just have acne. Because of course none of this natural shit is covered by insurance, so it's all out of pocket, spending all my money to be healthy. Again, not because my body deserves the nourishment, because I actually want to heal my body. Literally I just care about having clear skin. And that has also led to a spiral on its own. I would wake up, I would check my skin. I used to pick my skin every day. It's been about like 2 weeks since I haven't picked my skin, and it's difficult because I am an esthetician, so I'm like, oh, I'll just do this treatment on it, I'll just change this product, and it's just made my skin topically so much worse. But it's this like tunnel that I spiral down, which leads me to, I've been doing a lot more therapy. Like I said, I started doing therapy in college, and then I kind of slowly stopped going to my original therapist, and I started working with an integrative trauma, wait, what is she called? Practitioner coach, which has definitely uncovered a lot in me and kind of held the mirror up to myself. It's really deep inner work that I find very difficult but very rewarding. I also felt like this pressure, healing my acne and healing my body and just feeling better. I put so much pressure on these practitioners and so much pressure on this outcome, and just getting so disappointed, just stressing myself out so deeply for these results that just like were not coming. And I just hated this lack of control that I didn't have. I guess she's not called a therapist, for the sake of not saying an integrative trauma practitioner, because I can barely say it the first time over and over again. I'm gonna call her my new therapist. It's helped me see that this has come from something like deeper, of lack of acceptance of myself. Like if it wasn't acne, I'd be spiraling about something different. So this has really challenged me to look inward and learn how to deeply accept myself with where I'm at, which has been a challenge, especially because I am an esthetician with acne. I don't know, it just affects my self-esteem and my pride. And actually, I don't work with acne guests anymore. For all this soul searching, I honestly had such a difficult time going to work and talking about my guests' acne, and then going home and spiraling about my acne. My whole world just felt about acne and wellness and skin, which at one point it was my passion and I loved it, and then somewhere in the mix it got toxic and I kind of ruined it for myself. So now I'm kind of trying to have a fresh start with my business, because I really love delivering the facial experience and creating a healing space for people, but taking the pressure off of me to heal other people's acne while I'm trying to heal my own, because I did do gut testing and I had discrepancies in my gut and I have issues with my hormones, and it's a longer process than I want it to be. I wish that I could just take a pill and it'd all be like poof, but that's not how this holistic natural healing goes. And a lot of my gut issues and my skin issues, you know, like I eat healthy, so it's like, why is my body still angry at me? It's probably because my body is in fight or flight mode all the time and very stressed out, which is what I'm working on with my therapist. And it's just like allowing myself to have grace during this process has been super important. And instead of focusing so heavily on this outcome, just kind of finding peace in stillness and exactly where I'm at, which has probably been the most challenging part of it all, regardless of having the bloating, the fatigue, the acne, just letting go of the control. And this is where kind of my spirituality comes in, where I'm completely surrendering to God with my acne, with my health stuff, with even like the direction of my business. Like I took a big leap of faith to kind of step away from working with acne. It was my whole clientele, but it just felt right in my heart that I just like wasn't giving my full self to people anymore, because it just felt like so much pressure and so crippling. And I just don't want to think about acne all the time. And also healing this part of me with like ego and pride and needing to be an acne esthetician, it was really hard for me to let that go. And also just tying my worth to being an esthetician, a good esthetician, a successful esthetician. Now I honestly have another job that I work on the side. I'm starting to do content creation. Like I'm really just trying to figure out who I am, what I like to do, what's God's plan for me, what the purpose is. Like I don't know. And that's why we're here, so we can heal together. I'm gonna just share my experiences and be open and honest and vulnerable. That's kind of where I'm at. I am currently working with a naturopathic doctor. I just am finishing up a gut cleanse. Now we're gonna kind of shift into looking at my hormones, but I just feel like the past couple of days I've given up this expectation that, you know, by the end of 3 months when my gut cleanse is over, I'm gonna have clear skin. Because no, I don't. Just redirecting my energy on things that make me feel good. Like I love reading, I love boxing, I love creating and connecting with people, and focusing on that rather than just this rabbit hole of I need to heal. Because we're always going to be working on our mental health, our physical health, our spirituality. Like it's an evolving thing. And I feel like for so long I was like, where's the finish line? And it's just like, there's not one. So come along the rest of the journey with me. Let's heal together, and I will see you in the next video.